Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're at Dawnstar, which is my favorite retro shop and arcade here in Richmond, Virginia. And they are actually moving to a new, bigger location at the end of the month. So I wanted to just stop by and film some footage of the store and some footage of the arcade, which is super amazing. So I'll peek back in the arcade later. But yeah, this is like a really awesome retro shop. They also have a lot of anime, manga, figures, different collectibles, and a fun fact is actually this store is one of the reasons that I moved down here to Richmond, Virginia. We ended up coming here on a little pit stop on a road trip, and we saw this store, and there was another retro game shop in the downtown area, and we just thought it was such a cool little thing to find. We thought it was a sign, and it was one of the reasons we ended up moving down here. So just giving you a brief overview of the store now, and then we're going to go through the different sections, dig into some of the cool stuff they have, some of the rare stuff, and then we'll hop by the arcade. So starting over here, there's a bunch of different stuff you can flip through. They have some loose stuff over here. They have a lot of imports, which is really awesome. It's one of the reasons I really like this store. It's really hard to find retro shops that really carry imports at all, let alone have a good selection, and they have a really nice selection of imports. Here behind the case you've got some more rare stuff, some Sega CD, some Sega Saturn. You've got some more interesting stuff, the European version of Shenmue 2, Sonic Adventure. And then moving up here behind the case you've got some Gamecube, a lot of complete in box stuff. Some of the rarer complete in box Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance stuff, Fire Emblem, Dragon Warrior 3, those are favorites. And moving down, you've got some Switch. Here you've got some long box PS1 games, which is always really awesome to see. Some imports, again, Gamecube, some Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color imports, King of Fighters 94. I'm not sure if that's the soundtrack. I forget what. I'm not sure what version that is. But yeah, some awesome stuff here. Some more GameCube imports, which is really so cool. I'm just the biggest fan of those little Japanese GameCube cases. And then moving down here, you've got some larger collector's editions, that Toe Jam and Earl collector's edition, Bully, some different controllers, and some cool stuff like that. And then they've got this huge wall with an absolute ton of games. Everything from new stuff, PS5, PS4, to PSP, PS2. Really, they've got all the major stuff. And then up here at the top, which I love, is they've got, again, a ton of imports. Some PS1 imports. They've got some Super Famicom games, which is amazing. Super hard to find Super Famicom games here in the States, let alone CIB stuff. So I really love that. Got some Wii U, a ton of Wii stuff. Some PS3, 360, and OG Xbox. And what I love is throughout the store here, they've really got it decorated with all this cool, interesting stuff. They've got the neon signs. I believe that Nintendo sign is like super rare and vintage. The owner of the store was telling me that at one point, so that's cool. Some more stuff up here. I mean, it's a really small shop, but it's just absolutely chock full of really awesome stuff in every corner. You've got a lot of loose Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, PSP UMDs, and some more stuff here at the bottom with some Switch consoles, and a few other interesting things. Some TurboGrafx PC Engine games, some Virtual Boy games, which is always fun to see, and some Game Gear stuff. So there's also a few imports scattered through here as well, but a lot of US releases. And over here you've got the arcade. We'll dig in a sec, like I said, but you've got this really big wall of anime here, primarily used anime, a couple things that are sealed, but I've picked up a ton of stuff here. A lot of DVDs. There's some Blu-rays as well as a couple VHS. And it's just really awesome to see. It's so, again, like so rare to find a shop that sells used anime that's curated, and it's like a really solid collection of stuff you would actually want to watch. You've got Pat Labor, the DBZ stuff, a lot of classics, some Final Fantasy stuff, Evangelion. I think I picked up the Big O2 here. I picked up a bunch of cool stuff here. You got Bleach up here at the top, so some really fun stuff. And up here again, some really fun collectibles, Mario Lunchbox, some plushies. And moving over here, you've got consoles, handheld consoles. So they've got a couple that are modded, I think a couple that are stock. A really nice selection of Game Boys here, some of the rarer or more expensive Game Boy games, and some DS consoles. And then down here you've got some figures. A really nice selection of new and used figures. And then I'll just turn back here because there's this big cabinet of lots of different figures and amiibos. This really awesome Sonic one and this Kirby one I really love. And then some more figures up here. Really great selection. I especially love this Street Fighter. This Ryu is really awesome. And they've got Metabots on the card, which is, I mean, you just don't find that in stores in person. It's really cool to see. And moving over here, they've got some fun little things, some candy, a lot of stuff from Japan, some art you can buy here, and some more figures, plushies, different collectibles. Again, a really cool mix of new stuff and vintage stuff in this store. More figures here. I'm trying to see if anything pops out to me. Really love these little DBZ action figures. And these Cardcaptor Sakura lunch boxes are like really, really awesome. Really cool to see. And they've also got an awesome selection of Pokemon cards, which again, you know, not all game stores have. Like, one thing I really love about this shop is that, yes, it's primarily a retro game store, but they really cater to all kind of otaku things in general. So you've got like your Pokemon cards, your anime, your arcade games, your retro games. Again, you'll see here, I'll dip over here. They've got a really nice selection of guides, books, loose manuals, lots of cases. There's a ton of stuff here. N64, Atari, NES, some of the rarer stuff at the top, some figures. They have a Steel Battalion, which I've been eyeing for a while. I don't really have the space for it right now, but that's something I really want to pick up at some point. And then they've got a lot of CIB, N64, NES, and some of the more desirable Super Nintendo and NES games down here, as well as a really nice selection of consoles, including a Jungle Green N64, which I love, and they've got a Sega Nomad. There's like a bunch of just really interesting stuff. This TurboGrafx I've kind of been eyeing for a while. I've only got the TurboGrafx Mini right now, but I've really been thinking about getting an actual TurboGrafx, so I'm not sure if I'd rather just get a PC Engine. So, on the fence, but awesome to see that they have it. A lot of stores do not have a TurboGrafx. Got this monitor here, which is awesome, if that's the kind of thing you're into, and then just a bunch of controllers here, which is awesome if you're trying to pick up some extra controllers for your consoles. I think I skipped over this section over here, but they've got a lot of Nintendo powers, and they're kept really nice in these plastic baggies, which really helps them from wear and tear as people flip through them in the store, so I love that. And then you've got, more Nintendo powers, a ton of manga, which is really awesome to see. And more manga over here. They got the Dragon Ball Complete box set. They've got the Berserk here, which you have to love. And yeah, I think that covers about most of it, besides what's behind the counter here, which is where they keep a lot of the complete in box consoles, which is awesome to see. One other thing they have that I love, that I've never seen in person, is they have an Astro City Mini, which is super rad. And then they've got some cool merch down here. You can get hats, you can get t-shirts and rep the store, and then they got like a few other odds and ends extra figures. And they also carry Magic the Gathering and Pokemon TCG and all that really good stuff. So that's a gist of the store. Again, a ton of stuff. Really excited to see the new location, how this stuff really gets expanded. The new location, they posted some shots on Instagram and it's much larger than this one, so super excited to see that. And yeah, so we'll dig into the arcade. So the one thing I'll say that I really love about this arcade, and again, apologies in advance, it's a little bit noisy in here with all the machines going, is they really cater to fans of Japanese stuff. So yes, they have these really awesome kiosks. You've got the Gamecube kiosk, the Xbox kiosk, but they've also got these Blast City cabinets, which are awesome. You never see like Blast City, Astro City cabinets in US arcades. I mean, once in a while you'll see one, but for them to have 4 of them is just awesome. And then they've got a lot of rhythm games. So if you're a fan of Japanese rhythm games, super awesome. They've got Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm. Some of these games I don't know what the names are. I guess this is Waka Reverse and Project Diva Arcade. So some of these are off right now because they're actually moving the arcade today. I thought they were moving the arcade tomorrow, but I kind of goofed. So yesterday was actually the last day of the arcade, and they were kind enough to let me in here and turn everything on so I could go ahead and film this video for you guys. So Sound Voltex, Super Mario Brothers Pinball, and Cactus Canyon. So if anything is off here, just know like it does work. I've played pretty much all the games in here. Again, starting to move stuff here, but they have the PS2 kiosk, which is awesome. I would absolutely love to have one of these kiosks at some point. They've got Jubeat. They've got Sunset Riders. They've got the Neo Geo. They've got Metal Slug and Samurai Showdown hooked up in there. Here's one that's awesome that I played, and again, I'm excited. Excuse me. I'm excited to see the new arcade because they actually have a lot of cabinets that they cycle in and out of this location. And Virtual-On is one where I came here a couple months ago, and they actually had 2 Virtual-On cabinets linked up together. And at one point, they also had 2 Initial D cabinets linked up together. But just by the nature of this being a really tiny arcade, they cycle things in and out, which is awesome. But having the space to have everything just all together, I am unbelievably excited for that. So really, really awesome arcade. And I guess I kind of skirted over it. But yeah, they've got Mega Man. They've got this Sailor Moon beat-em-up game, which I'm not familiar with. I don't know the name of it, but I do know that these, at least Sailor Moon for sure, I know is running on an original board, which is awesome. I know the owners are really big collectors, so a lot of the stuff is running on original board. This Dragon Ball Z 2D fighting game. I played it once. I was not very good at it, but I just think it's super cool. It's something I've never seen before. And then, yeah, of course, you've got Halo on the Xbox kiosk and the Gamecube kiosk, which, again, is one of the kiosks that when I have a big enough house, I would just really love to have one of these kiosks. And both in super nice condition, too. Really nice condition on this Xbox kiosk. I mean, both of them. Really awesome. So yeah, that's the arcade. It's a little bit in disarray now. Again, it wasn't always like this, but really happy to be able to come in here and kind of preserve my memories of this arcade, and hopefully some other people who live in the area, their memories of this arcade, because there's really nothing else like it in the area. And yeah, just happy to have it all documented. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.